Hey there, everybody. How's it going? I hope you're having a good day in your corner of the world. Been having a pretty good day in mine. Just been thinking a lot. I was filming a video, but then I started to ramble and not make sense. And so I'm trying to make this video a lot more focused, just so I can practice focusing on one topic instead of jumping from place to place to place to place. Anyway, I've been thinking about the patriarchy. Oh, the patriarchy, right? That is so deeply embedded in almost every society, with the exception of certain indigenous communities around the world that practice a more matriarchal society. Most societies tend to have or tend to be dominated by a patriarchal society. Why is that? And is that a good thing or a bad thing or neutral? I think humans naturally want to have a leader. Some people want to be leaders, and some people are apt to take that role, and some people want to be leaders, but they want to be a leader to gain control and benefit themselves, but not really think about the community. And there are some people that want to be followers, or want to be, or maybe they may not want to be followers, but they don't want to make all of the decisions for the community, right? Or they may not want to bear that brunt. And there's nothing wrong with not wanting to make all the decisions for the collective, right? But I do think that we've created a society that is dominated, and this goes for the whole world. We're pretty much dominated by a few individuals, and those individuals are not thinking about the collective. And unfortunately, the collective, as a collective, myself included, as the collective, we have lost our voice and accepted the breadcrumbs that we are given. So I'm going to speak for myself. I don't like to be in the limelight. I like to keep a low profile. I like to not really be in the spotlight all the time. I don't have a fear of speaking in front of crowds, for example, or not crowds, but in front of a group of people. I'm not afraid of that. Maybe of crowds, yes. If I had to speak to a crowd, I'd probably have a little bit of anxiety. But I'm not afraid to speak in front of a group of people, or I've come a long way on my journey to not be afraid to voice my opinion or voice my views. And sometimes my opinions may be wrong, and I've had to accept, or my viewpoints, I may have the facts wrong. But I've had to learn to make peace with that. I've had to learn to accept that I will be wrong sometimes. And being wrong sometimes doesn't make me stupid. It just means that I don't know everything there is to know, and that there's more to learn. And and if somebody else that I'm speaking to has the facts wrong, it doesn't mean that they're stupid. It just means that maybe they're ignorant about a certain thing. Sorry, I'm losing my words because I'm tired. But they're ignorant about certain concepts, or they're forgetting something, and ignorance is not stupidity, it just means lack of information, right? They may not have read well, or they may have read from sources that are not reputable. All of this happens to all of us, right? Sometimes we read from not so reliable sources, and we spit out that information in a conversation, and then we're proven wrong by somebody that has read more and done the research more and checked their sources. And that's okay. It's okay to be wrong. And now I kind of went on a tangent. I know I started this video saying that I wasn't going to jump from topic to topic. And I started talking about the patriarchy, and now I'm talking about not being afraid of being wrong, and about the collective, and about leadership, and all of that stuff. I think, to tie it all together, if our leaders admitted that they don't know everything there is to know, and that they will make mistakes, but that they will listen to the needs of the collective, we would live in a much better world. Unfortunately, we live in a world where our leaders have a lot of hubris, and they definitely have some kind of personality issue that doesn't allow them to admit their faults. And you see it in every across the board, like in the Republican side, the Democrat side, or even other political parties across the world. It's very rare for a politician to admit that they're wrong. And if they, for example, if there's this rare occasion where somebody admits that they're wrong, or let's say they had one opinion and then they changed their opinion because they became more informed. Let's say, for example, they were against renewable energy at some point 10 years ago, but now they've done the research, and they've come to realize that renewable energy is good for our planet, and it's better for our livelihoods, right? It's better for the ecosystem, because affecting the ecosystem eventually affects us, right? But anyway, maybe they've done the research and they realize, oh, well, renewable energy is better than fracking, or supporting oil companies and things like that. And some people will call this person a flip-flopper, right? Oh, this person is a flip-flopper because they've changed their views. Why? Why are we prisoners of our views? Why can't people change? Now, this can go the other way, I understand, where some politicians will flip-flop, and, for example, they at some point said, I remember back in, like, what was it, 2009, 2010, or 11, Obama said that he was against gay marriage, and then come 2012 election, he said he was pro gay marriage. And okay, the guy might have had a change in mind. He might have informed himself more. He might have had a change in his heart, or he might have met more gay people, and he might have, changed the way that he viewed this. But it just seems suspicious that politicians will always change their views when they're close to an election. But maybe I'm wrong for being suspicious of him. Maybe he really did have a change in heart about those issues, right? And I mean, I could talk about the Republican Party and how and it's not just the Republican Party, that's why I gave the Obama example, but it happens in every single party in politics. But you see it in the Republican Party that they will actually flip-flop, not because they are well informed or they've changed their mind, but because changing their stance on something will make them more money or get them more votes or give them a platform. It's an interesting world that we live in, for sure. We're living in a world, at least in America, but many other countries are following and hopping on that bandwagon, unfortunately, where we feel the need to demonize people that are different than us. And this goes both ways. Left, right, progressive, conservative, we demonize the other side. I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I'm just like, man, I don't understand this person's views. Don't want to associate. And I remember I was like that. I was very anti-religion at some point. And I criticized people that would go to church or pray, I would criticize them. Oh my God, these people, I guess that was pun intended. Oh my God, these people are so uneducated, or, I had those views. But there was this guy once that I was seeing, very toxic person, and he told me about one of his psychedelic trips and how I believe he had taken DMT, and he had seen the devil. The devil came face to face with him, and this guy asked the devil, what makes a religion true? And according to him, the devil responded, what makes a religion true are the true hearts that believe in it. And that really stuck with me. His story, whether it's real or not, because this guy lied a lot, but there is some wisdom behind that. It's not about the religion, it's about the intention you have. Do you really live by the idea that we are all equal? And let's forget about our bodies, right? Let's forget about male, female, this, that, whatever you want to identify with. Let's forget about everything. Because I don't think that's what makes me, or you, right? There's just more in my belief system. There's more to a person than just their human body. I can't really say it in words. I can't really describe it, but there's this essence that exists in each and every one of us. And so if we believe that we are all equal, and when I say that, we are all one, we are all equal, we are all a part of that universal mind, a part of that Gaia, right? A part of God, right? Now God has been corrupted, that word. But anyway, these are just my thoughts of the day. And yeah, think for yourself. Peace and love. Bye.